Hold on. Are there any questions? Hold on. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu. So the question says, with regards to someone who's a homosexual, gay or lesbian, or transgender, or etc. There's a big long list. It's not just LGBT, Q, and then many other letters in the alphabet that are included in that acronym. Many, or that abbreviation, whatever the case is, whatever you want to call it, huh? How do we deal with them? How do we advise them with regards to those who want to accept Islam? They want to be a Muslim, but how they're going to be looked at and treated, and how do we deal with them ourselves, etc., etc. Well, obviously, this is a challenge because we have the concept of new Muslim, and then we have a concept of something which is generally a problem socially, generally. Obviously, things are different in 2018. Things are more accepted. They have pride and marches and parades and every movie and every cartoon and every cereal box, and the concept of pushing that agenda upon people, upon children. All right, as we mentioned in the khutbah before last, or the last week's khutbah actually, the shamed countenance, huh? So with that being said, what do we do? It's a challenge. It's hard enough with regards to a new Muslim, someone who used to be a Christian or Jew. Or if you want to keep it real, just keep it real, no sugar. There's a black community and a white brother accepts Islam. Well, the opposite. It's a Pakistani community and a black brother accepts Islam. Everybody understand this? So whatever the scenario may be, whatever the what? You cannot deny the reality that this person is a minority. Him accepting Islam in the community is a tiny, tiny minority. There's going to be some type of what? Friction. There's going to be some look, some feel, some difference. There's no doubt about that. So what do you think about the concept of something which is even deeper than that, such as homosexuality, or transgender, or someone who has two private parts, a hermaphrodite, etc.? It's going to be an issue. It's going to be a challenge. So there has to be advice given, and there has to be training for both sides. Explain to them what Islam is, what it means to be a Muslim. And the worst crime that a man can commit is to make shirk. And there were people who made shirk, and they did a slew of other crimes. They became Muslim, Allah forgave them of those sins, and they became good, pious Muslims who died for Allah's cause. So homosexuality isn't worse than shirk. It isn't worse than shirk. That's from one aspect. But from another aspect, obviously when it was a pagan, it isn't like a man who's a homosexual. There's a difference between the two. No one can deny the reality. There's a what? It's a difference. He's a mushrik, but he has a wife. He's a mushrik, and he sleeps with men. It's a difference here. However, the concept of shirk being the greatest sin, that's what needs to be explained to this person. And you tell them that the Muslims are human beings. The Muslims have ups, the Muslims have downs. The Muslims are not all perfect. Every Muslim doesn't have knowledge. Every Muslim isn't thorough and wise and been trained properly. So there may be some challenges. But what are you getting out of the deal? You're a Muslim now. Your sins being forgiven. You know who your Lord is, etc. You have to go through some challenges. Just like people who came before you that were better than you went through what? Challenges. And the same applies to those who are Muslim. You have to explain to them, like, look, Akhi, he's a Muslim. You want him to die in the hellfire, or you want him to be straight? What's more important to you, his sexual orientation of the past or even present? Or him going to the fire of hell and saying Allah is a son and Allah is one of three? Have you some hikmah now? How were you before you took your shahada? How were you before you started praying and practicing? Your whole entire Muslim family is Muslim. People were merciful with you, kind with you. They turned a blind eye to some of the things. You don't think your father knew what you were doing? You don't think the brothers smelled you in the masjid? You don't think they seen the drugs fall out of your pocket when you made sujood in the court? They did. They advised you, they were kind to you, they taught you, they helped you out. So the same is expected with regards to this person. Okay? So everyone has to be advised on both sides. as far as the concept of can you be a Muslim and can you be a homosexual, then if they ask you that question, then you can either answer it frankly, based on what you know, or you can sidestep the question and give them the logic and the rationale of once you enter into Al-Islam, it is not expected for you to become a perfect person overnight. And there are people who have been Muslim their whole lives who still make sins and mistakes. And homosexuality is a sin and is a mistake. It's wrong in Al-Islam. It's haram. It's impermissible. Okay? The biggest problem that we have is the social culture. How people want to look at him in the masjid, walking and switching and twitching. A big muscle-bound guy who likes men. Something's wrong. It's not the same as other sins. But you have to be patient with him. Last but not least, you have to explain to them like, look, no one is expecting to be a perfect Muslim immediately and overnight. However, there are certain things that Muslims cannot tolerate. If a brother was a drunkard, and he said, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and he believed in Tawheed, please, labas. That doesn't mean you can come to the masjid smelling like alcohol. It doesn't mean you can come to the masjid and you're drunk and tipsy and joking and pushing people. No. The house of Allah has to be respected. And the same applies to a homosexual or someone's transgender or whatever the case may be. You can't come to the masjid dressed any kind of way and saying anything and behaving. No. You either try to work on the problem or you stay away from the masjid. And just because you don't come to the masjid don't mean that you're not a Muslim. But every situation has its separate response. We don't let anyone come to the masjid smelling like marijuana, reeking, or reefer, or what? What is smoking? Smell like chocolate. No, we don't allow that in the masjid. And the same applies to someone who's what? Doing something which is unnatural. You can't be in front of young children, young boys like this. No, it's not okay. I mean, explain it to them, piece by piece. What's important is for someone to say, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. You can go to the hellfire for being a kafir forever. You will. You're not going to go to the hellfire forever for not going to the masjid. But all of these things, at the end of the day, they need to be discussed in detail. And this is a modern day issue. Conferences and things that need to be done on this stuff. Modern day things that are real things. And me, myself, as I said, I've told stories before of people coming to me. One time, a hermaphrodite came in the masjid. Right in the middle of a class. Literally. In the middle of a class. And he said what he said. I had to deal with it. What are you going to do? 2018. This was back in the day before 2018. But I'm saying imagine now. Imagine what? Imagine now. So this is something we have to be mindful of, And Allah Azza wa Jalla knows best. Allah's help is what? It's sought, indeed. Fadal.
Is it permissible for someone to get paid to lead Tarawih? And also, why do you have pins in your breast pocket?
Question says, is it permissible for someone to get paid for doing Tarawih? Also, is it permissible, or why do you have pins in your breast pocket? Barakallahu fiqh for your questions. As far as if someone makes a contract or contractual agreement with a masjid to provide a service to that masjid in which he is bound to be in a specific place at a specific time with a specific purpose, then it's permissible for him to make a material contractual agreement. He's not just coming to recite the Quran as he wants to. No, they expect him what? To be there and to lead this amount of rak'at and to have a beautiful recitation. They expect his Quran to be sharp and not to be making mistakes. I didn't have no time to review because I was working. I didn't have no time to cover it because I was what? I was working. They're not, that's unacceptable. So it's permissible under those conditions. Under those what? And the Prophet ﷺ, he says, Inna ahaqqa ma khaltum alayhi ajran kitab Allah. The thing that deserves or has the greatest right for you to take wealth for is what? It's the book of Allah, The what? It's the book of Allah. We just learned this, right? Tight. So that's the first answer in brief. As far as the second answer, why do you have pins in your breast pocket? Well, first and foremost, I like pins. I like pins. Secondly, I use pins. I use pins to take notes, to write things down, dates, names, places, fawaid, hadith, write inside of my book, write something, sign a book. I like pins. I like them and I also use them. These are the type of pins that I like And these are the type of pens that I like to use. It's a part of my own style, my own fashion. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel studious. But it's not just a show or something that makes me feel, but I actually do what? And those who hang around me, they know that I do what? We write different books, manuals and things like this, huh? Preparing something, etc. So it's a whole complete package. Maybe you should try it out. Maybe we'll send you some, we'll bring you some in the United Kingdom, inshallah ta'ala. But try it out, seriously. And when you're trying to be a student of knowledge and trying to be a real student of knowledge, it's a complete what? Package. How you dress, how you look, how you walk, how you talk. Everything should be gearing towards you feeling a part of that lifestyle. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. It's like a chef. You see a real chef, they have how many what? They have what? Pens in their pockets. Several pens. And they have the thermometer for the steak and for this and for that. The hat, the shoes, the non-slip shoes, the pants, the apron. It's a whole what? Culture. Oh, we have some brothers from amongst us and from among us who like bikes. They enjoy riding on hogs. Traveling from state to state with gangs of bikers. Some Muslim and most non-Muslim. A true biker is someone that doesn't just ride a bike, but there's an actual what behind it? It's culture. The gloves, the jacket, the boots, the jeans, the helmet. Kullu shay. Islam means peace, brother. I don't know about weapons. Everybody understand this? Is there any other society that you want to what? Get into? There's a culture behind it. And people that are serious about that culture, they take it serious in what? Hakada, huh? Well, hakada. Allah knows best. Of course, that's not all, but that's all the time that we have tonight. Wa sallallahu alaihi wa sallam ala abdihi wa rasulihi Muhammad. Inshallah, tomorrow will be the Q&A marathon. So bring your questions there. Bidnillah.